there are clues. And Romans is filled with rhetorical devices, which are the clues. Hello everyone. Now our next main topic of presentation will be from the book of Romans. When we think of Romans, we often talk about Paul's letter to the Romans as if Paul just sat down with a quill on a parchment and wrote it himself. But you know, buried near the end of this letter is this fascinating line. Romans chapter 16 and verse 22. I, Tertius, who wrote down this letter, greet you in the Lord. Who? Tertius, Paul's scribe, or his amanuensis. Now, that might change our perception somewhat. Let's just think about this. What does a scribe do, this amanuensis? Now, in the ancient world, many people couldn't write or didn't write fluently in Greek. So authors would dictate their letters to a trained scribe, a professional who could structure, could edit and refine ideas, and almost on the fly, so to speak. And Tertius was one of them. Wasn't just taking dictation, he very likely helped shape the sentence flow, the rhetorical patterns, and even possibly the tone of the letter itself. And when we read Romans, we begin to perceive that really it is a classical piece of rhetorical writing. Because Romans reads much like a very carefully argued speech, not a spontaneous letter. It moves within the sort of classic rhetorical structure, as academics would say. State the problem, which is what? Sin and judgment. Romans 1, 2, and 3. Then present the solution, which is what? Justification by faith. Romans 4 and 5. Objections raised and objections answered. Romans 6 through to 11. And then the practical application, which we find in Romans 12 through to 15. So this wasn't some casual writing. This was crafted. And Tertius, as Paul's scribe, may have helped organize these arguments into this powerful logical flow that we read today. Do we see Tertius's hand? There are clues. And Romans is filled with rhetorical devices, which are the clues. Here's just a couple. The sort of style, which is referred to as a diatribe style, the sort of prolonged discourse. You know, it's like talking to oneself. Romans chapter 9 and verse 19. Let's just read that. One of you will say to me, then why does God still find fault? For who can resist his will? See the point? He's sort of raising the question, talking to himself, as if somebody else was talking to him. The chiasms or parallelisms, especially in Romans 5 and 8. Not what 5 verse 7, how he puts it. Very rarely will someone die for a righteous man, though for a good man, someone might possibly dare to die. See what he's doing here? He's got two different thoughts, but running into each other. So that then leads us into the very careful transitions and the summary statements that the letter, in fact, produces for us. The powerful rhythms, if you like, in the original Greek. It was, in fact, an art form. So these show that the hand of someone trained not just in in theology, but in rhetorical writing. See, Tertius, he wasn't just editing Paul's theology, but he may have shaped how it landed on the parchment. Why does that matter to us? Well, recognizing Tertius's hand in this, it helps us to remember that Romans was a collaborative effort. Paul and a skilled writer, both working in harmony with each other. The Greek scriptures were really crafted with great care, not improvised, but composed with a purpose. And it reminds us that Paul's vision and Tertius's pen provide a very persuasive narrative in presenting their account. So the next time you read Romans and feel the powerful way in which the arguments are built, the stirring rhythms, the clarity of thought, remember the quiet line in chapter 16. I, Tertius, who wrote down this letter, even if it is in the shadows. Now, if this kind of behind the scenes Bible insight helps you uh, helps you at all, right? Please subscribe and join us as we keep uncovering the story behind the scriptures. Thank you very much. See you next time.